Hey guys, thank you for joining this webinar. My name is Stoimen and I work with a lot of e-commerce guys like you. So bear with me in the next 5 minutes and I'm going to explain to you how you can make more money out of your holiday shoppers this season. Let's take a look at my second screen. So in e-commerce, there is a very famous formula that we learned from a guy called Drew. He's a crazy nerd marketer. You can check his blog at nerdmarketing.com. So basically what he says is that your revenue in e-commerce equals the amount of acquired customers multiplied by their order frequency multiplied by the average order value. So let's put some numbers. Imagine this Christmas. If you make 10 new customers and each one of them spends about 1.3 orders with your store and the average order value is just $40, that means you're gonna make $520 out of the Christmas. So I'm pretty sure you're already maxed out your acquisition and you make sure that you get as many clients as possible. As well, I'm pretty sure that your average order value is going to be in place because you already optimized your website. You did everything to make sure that people get the biggest orders available. So what you can still do is actually play with the order frequency, because usually during the holidays, that number is very low because people buy for other people, they don't buy for themselves, and that's how they don't become loyal customers. And that's what you actually need to make them loyals. And let me show you the impact of increasing the order frequency. Let's say I double the order frequency, which is an increase of 100%. That means I'm going to increase my revenue with the same amount, with 100%. So out of $520, I'm going to turn them into $1,040. And the best part of this is that I won't spend a zero in acquisition. So how we do that? Well, the answer is in retention marketing. You see, retention marketing is everything you do in order to make people buy again and again and again with your store. Actually, it's what makes people turn into loyals for you and your brand and your store. So your first step with retention marketing would be to understand your customers, because that's the very important thing. Because when you do retention marketing, your main priority is to find the best way to communicate with your guys. That's what we call personalized marketing. And you cannot communicate to your guys if you don't know them and you don't understand them. So what you need to know about them? Well, different things. Stuff like what they buy, how often they buy, and also what products they browse on your website. All this will help you build your picture of them and will enable you better and more personalized and more timely email marketing. Well, if you wonder how you can learn that, well, the answer is not simple, because you usually need to use different types of data software or CRMs in e-commerce. Well, in our case, I'm going to show you how we understand customers using Metrilo. You see, inside Metrilo, we pull a lot of data. So basically, we tailor a customer profile for each one of your users, and we put every interaction with your website in it. This will allow you to see session by session, event by event, what they did on your website, and thus you're gonna create a very personalized profile and idea about your best clients. So let's take a look at Lolita. So she's my client, and she came from a referral of mine. It's Harbor.com. And I can see that she placed 2 different orders in between 1 year. So the first order, she came on my site, she looked at a specific product, and she went straight for it. So she bought it. Okay, I can see that she's an impulsive buyer. She saw an ad on my referral website, and then she came straight away. But to back this further, you need a more general overview of this. So that's when people usually go to what we call a retention analysis. So this is very useful. If you start using Metrilo, you can realize that we're gonna pull all your historical data right away, so you can actually evaluate your retention rates for your last year holiday shoppers, and that this will help you a lot when you want to estimate how much you want to invest in this year in acquisition and stuff like that. So let's take a look here. You see, this is my December 2015, and I already know that from every holiday shopper I brought to my website, 36% of them came back and purchased later on. And this bumped up my revenue per customer to $107, right? Which is great for my case. But that's because I did a lot of email marketing and I did a lot of efforts to make them come and buy again. And this report, actually, what I'm going to use it right now to estimate my current holiday campaign is to see, okay, so when was the time when people came back? Right now I can see that most of my returning buyers came in the next 3, maybe 4 months and purchased something. This means that when I want to retarget them and re-engage them with my products, that means I have a timestamp of 4 months. So the next 4 months after Christmas, I'm going to work heavily with email to make them come and buy again. Now that I know what's the typical behavior of my last year Christmas buyers, what I need to do is to tailor my email strategy. And how do you do that? Well, the question is once again in data. You need to do, or at least what I'm going to do, is to use data to personalize my email marketing. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to gather a lot of customer behavior and I'm going to use it to tailor very specific customer segments. This means I'm going to communicate differently to every different type of my customers. And this will actually allow me to get better conversion rates. And in the end, yeah, of course, it's sending relevant emails and on the right time. And you already saw in my previous example, when I showed you how I understand when usually my customers come back and buy again, that's how I manage to estimate when I should send the emails. Now, let me show you a few examples of very good customer segments. In my case, what I do is actually, at first, is to tag all my customers who purchased during the holiday season and just call them holiday buyers. But I do that only for my one-time buyers. Let me show you how it happens. I come here, that's my revenue and trends, and I just pick the right month. Usually it's the Christmas time. And then I go to my new customers and I tag them. So this is all my new customers during this Christmas. And I'm going to add them a tag called holiday shoppers. Cool. So now that I know that, I need to play further and understand each one of them and tailor small but very precise segments. So I'm going to pick them again. And what I'm going to do right now is to segment further. So the first segments I would naturally do is people with higher orders than my average order value. And let me check quickly. So this Christmas, my average order value was actually $55. So people with more than that are my high-end customers, and people with less than that are more normal guys. So I pick revenue more than, and let's give them some credit. So let's make it more than $6. And voila, this is my segment of high-end guys. And that's how I'm going to save it. Because when it comes to email marketing later on, I'm going to push more expensive deals and more expensive products to these people. Okay, so now I would naturally go and do the same segment, but for the guys who spend less than $60. But right now, for the sake of the example, I won't do that. And instead, let me show you another interesting example. So usually it's very nice when you know what's your top selling product. And in addition to that, you want to learn what actually people buy in addition to it. So in my case, the top selling product during the Christmas was the Synergetic Copper keyboard. So let's check the details, where we can actually see that a lot of people who purchased the Synergetic Copper keyboard actually went back and purchased the awesome concrete clock. So this is a very interesting insight because I'm learning from my natural returning clients. And I can see that when they buy product A, which in my case is the Synergetic Copper keyboard, they come back to my store and buy the awesome concrete clock. And I'm going to use this. And I'm going to use it for my next email to the guys who actually purchased the Synergetic Copper keyboard during the Christmas and had only one order. So I'm going to try and upsell them with the awesome concrete clock. Let me show you. I come here back and I pick the holiday shoppers. I pick only people with orders equal to 1, so only people with one order. And then I want to pick everybody who actually purchased the Synergetic Copper keyboard. Oops, it's on this one. Okay, there it is. Cool. So now I have a list of 34 customers who actually purchased the Synergetic Copper keyboard, have only one order, so that means that they're loyal customers for me and they came for Christmas. I'm going to save it as holiday shoppers. And then I'm just going to leave myself a note for the product they bought. And also small note about the product I need to be upselling them with. So it's gonna be the awesome concrete clock. Cool. So within a month from now, my email strategy for these guys is going to be some kind of drip, maybe 1 or 2 to 3 emails where I'm going to push the awesome concrete clock based on my insights from the other customers who already bought that after buying the synergetic copper keyboard. So in short, this type of segments can be limited. Like you have a lot of different possibilities for segmenting. You can use like stuff like average order value, amount of orders, revenue, like products or categories, everything you can use and utilize when it comes to your message, so everything that can give you a better details, more details about your customers, so that when it's time for making your email, what's the exact thing that you need to tell them in order to make them buy again from your store. So yeah, your game this Christmas will be in segmentation. You can use these segments I just showed you or anything else that makes sense for your business. Your main goal is to tailor a segment that you need and that you know how to speak to, and being personal, being, very relevant, having a relevant offer or something that these people are going to like is going to increase highly your chances of making them convert and buy again in your store. So yeah, let's wrap up quickly. For having a very successful retention marketing and upselling a lot of your holiday shoppers this year, number one, you need to understand these guys. You need to know what and how often they buy with your store. Number two, you need to be able to put that data from their behavior, so you need in place a very powerful data tracking tool. And number three, always do segments. Don't send mass emails. Don't send, your regular newsletters to these guys. Be very personal. Send very personal and specific promotions. This will make sure that you're going to rock and have a lot more revenue this year from your Christmas than the one before. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.